guys want to do? I mean, it's ready, whatever you want. Whatever time you don't fill, it's just going to be sad. No, you're not on right now. What's coming from there is not going live. I just wanted to make sure it was going live. Yes, it was. You're doing both games tomorrow, right? Yep. Okay.
Loves committing. Yeah, he signs up for one thing and he's just there the whole day.
I like it. Because he likes doing stuff. Go.
Signed up for something?
We like those people. Okay, so are you going to do with 9 left?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska, here inside the John Breslow Ice Hockey Center. Husker hockey back here in Lincoln. My name is Sam Whitaker, joined alongside my good friend Matthew Malloy. Matt, what a game we have on tap. Nebraska and Augustana already met once this season, meeting again here for a pair of games.
Yeah, Augustana, the first time they played the Huskers, they were on their home ice, but now they've got to come into Lincoln and try to pick up a win. They were not able to pick up a win against Nebraska the first time they played them in that series to open the season. However, they're back for blood here in a stadium, in an ice arena full of red right now. We got the red lights going, Sam. So it's a really big game tonight. Home opener for the guys down there on the D2 squad. D3, they've already played a ton of games here at Breslow, but D2 has not had the chance to touch the ice here yet. So pretty big night for them, Sam.
Yeah, a long awaited, but looking back at that last series between Nebraska and Augustana, a 9-4 win in game one, Nebraska just all out dominating. Hunter Brickle picking up a 5-point night in the win. Jacob Morgan also playing stellar. And then moving on to game two, Jaden Salato playing out of his mind. I mean, he has been so good for the Huskers every single Saturday. Losing the shutout in the final 2 minutes, that's something you've got to be proud of because you held a shutout all the way through the game. Obviously, a rebound that squeaks through in the last minute. That hurts you a little bit, but Nebraska starting what was a 2 consecutive sweep start right there, obviously beating Milwaukee the week after, beating Augustana obviously there. But these two teams should be some fireworks on the ice tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be a pretty big game tonight. As you see here, we got the graphic up for you, showing a little bit of a recap going on here. Nebraska not able to dominate Arkansas as they lost that other game. But however, they've been pretty solid so far this entire season, Sam. They really haven't had a series where they've looked weak both games. If they lost one, they definitely came back to win the other. Augustana, on the other hand, they've been playing pretty okay as well, but 0-2 right now in the season. The first and only time they've played so far was against Nebraska. So still looking to pick up that first win, and to do it on the road would be pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Got to get the legs underneath them. But looking back at last weekend, back in Springdale, Huskers going all the way down to Arkansas to play the Razorbacks, picking up a 4-1 win in Game 1. That's huge to come in on visiting ice and take a win from a very tough environment in the Jones Center. That's what you got to take when you're a hockey team. Then you go to Game 2, a game that goes all the way down to the wire. Arkansas ultimately squeaking it out with a 4-3 win. But Jacob Morgan not rotating in, playing both games last week, and that just kind of shows you what Nebraska thinks of their starting goaltender tonight.
Absolutely. He's got to come out big. I know he did against Augustana. He did against Arkansas as well. But, hey, you're back on your home ice right now. There's no excuse to not have a great game.
These two teams just about ready to tip things away. We are about 5 minutes away from puck drop. I want to thank you so much for joining us. We'll send things back to a break. Be back for the national anthem.
That was good. Also, when you were talking about the last time you guys played, that's what kind of cool. Like, set it up for him. Like, if you want to talk, I know, like, you do stuff with the team and stuff like that, but make sure they get in the room. They also play the one you want to. All right. After answering all that, a few lineups, and then we'll get rolling. Good stuff. I think they're in a much better spot than the last time. No, I agree. That would be nice. very interesting. We won't do this on the same shirts.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the John Breslow Ice Hockey Center in Lincoln, Nebraska. Just about to get underway here. We've got the starting lineups from both sides. Starting for the visiting Augustana Vikings, Ashton Greast on the left wing, Jace Thibodeau up the middle, and Mason Hack out on the right side. Defensively, going to go with Will Simmons and Samuel Saley, and in between the pipes, Walker Radcliffe. On the other end of the ice for Nebraska, going to be that top line of Jackson Beach, Jake Stadler, and Joey Lucius. Behind them, they've got Ben McGinnis and Zach Merritt with Jacob Morgan in between the pipes. Matthew, should be one heck of a matchup here, especially between the pipes for both sides.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, the biggest matchup today isn't going to be so much about, first line versus first line. It's going to be about goalie versus goalie. Watch out for Morgan. Watch out for Radcliffe. They're going to have some great games here, Sam.
We get ready. Stadler and Thibodeau facing off, and Augustana winning the opening face-off. As Morgan behind his own net, going to play it as Merritt will try and flip it out to the neutral zone for Beach. Got it poked right back onto his stick, picked up. Here's Lucius. Lucius fires it, got it blocked by a body. Augustana looking to escape their own zone with Grease, and now going cross ice for a pass that was just off the mark. McGinnis has a man right on his tail, gets thrown down, and here come the Vikings with an opportunity. Going all the way to the front of the net, and they score! Ty Hansen breaks the ice, not even a minute into the game. Augustana on the board.
Yeah, Sam, well, these Vikings have only played 2 games so far this season, both against Nebraska. And in those 2 games, Hansen picked up 3 assists. So that is his first goal of the season, and it was sure a good one right there, not even a minute into the game.
As Nebraska now down early, they will quickly send it in. As Augustana, for the first time all year long, has taken the lead against Nebraska. They try to go right back at it, right back to the man, and a great blocker save by Morgan to deflect it out of play.
Yeah, now, I think Morgan, hopefully he didn't get shook up too much on that play. The last thing you want is to be rattled in the first minute of the game. Got to keep your composure if you're a goaltender in this situation right now, Sam.
As Brickell winning it back for Nebraska. And now he will outlet his man. Here comes Henrik Carlson trying to chip away. Gets a good body off. Right there, Trey Burnt holding him off. And here comes Augustana again, up ice, right back to Hansen. The hot hand Hansen, get it poked away by the stick of Pate. Trying to throw it back in front again, and Morgan will have to cover.
Now you're just wondering, Nebraska is definitely trying to throw some cold water on that hot hand Hansen has already. Some of these guys, their legs aren't even warmed up, but it looks like Ty Hansen has already been playing for about 20 minutes, Sam. This kid's all over the place.
Now looking in mid-season form. And again, Augustana really just going to have to work here to get warm. Obviously, Nebraska is now 4 series into the year. Augustana has only played the 1. There's a lot of extracurriculars after that face-off, as both sides are going to regroup here. Nebraska rolling out Nate Weber. It looks like they have Tyler Rundle facing off against him, as Weber going to win it. Got it turned over and sent around the boards here. That one going past the stick of Decker and finally escaping the neutral zone and thrown back in for Morgan to play. As Morgan leaves it, man getting pressured all over Colin McCammon, as Weber had it go off his skates and now being thrown up, as Decker will receive it again before it gets sent back. Have to wait for the onsides, and Augustana can now look out. As Carbonneau had his pass picked off. Here's Eric Losing looking in. He'll fire it over the cage. One right back, and a good job by Whitehead will keep it in, forcing his man right on the blue line, and Augustana will throw it back out. Going to Decker here now in the midst of a change. He'll throw it right over the glove of Radcliffe. As it goes to Grease here. Dodges the hit as it'll go all the way down. No icing right next to the cage of Morgan. Picked up again for Nebraska. That one deflected by the body of Jace Tevital. Thrown around and kept in the zone towards the net. Morgan sticks it away to the corner as McGinnis crashing into the wall to get it. Grease throwing it back to the point here. Another shot on the way. Gets deflected by a body. They fight for it along the wall, and again, Augustana just all over the Huskers right now. Brickell going all the way up for Topol. Just missed it. He'll be the first one down there to delay the icing. Augustana having trouble in their own end, as Lucius will chip it in deep. Nebraska changing up the defensive corp. And now that one, another bad turnover. Hansen looking for a drop back. Had it intercepted, and now Beach. As they go into the blue line. This one right behind the cage, picked up by Stadler, getting bodied by his man. Stadler trying to go back to Beach, and had it picked off again. He'll recover it and find Beach now. He'll wisely go back to Holderfield as he chips it in. As Lucius now tried to feed Beach in front. Gonna go back. Here's Pate. Deflected shot by a leg pad in front. Pate again, trying to keep it in. A great defensive job, but here come the Vikings on a 2-on-1 delayed errant pass. Going to be fought for and sent back again for Nebraska, but right to the Vikings. As they wait up for the onside, they will get a change, and now Nebraska will just go for a change themselves here.
Sam, I'm not sure if Beach was upset there, but he slammed his stick pretty hard on the ice. I think he wanted the boys to move a little bit quicker there. Now Augustana back on the offense.
Yeah, and here they come into the zone. Shot that got deflected by another body in front. Nebraska trying to play up to these shots. As that one just passed the skates of Martison. As Martison's all over the defensive side. Augustana again, trouble trying to take it into the defensive end. So go right to Martison, and now a great outlet pass with Carlson. Carlson and Brickell as Carlson fired it wide. Radcliffe will leave it to be played, and now he will jump on top of it for a whistle.
Finally, you get another stoppage in play. It's been quite a while since we've had one, Sam. And I look back at Ty Hansen's goal at that 36-second mark into the first period. Excuse me, a lot of S's in that one. But it's a lot like scoring a touchdown on the opening kickoff, right? You just pick up the other team while they're down, while they're not looking. And Nebraska still, though, down one. They really want to come back from this, especially from the way the Vikings picked up that first goal.
As Nebraska in their own end having trouble, a turnover in front, almost found the open stick of Ashton Grease. Colin McCammon in now. As the Huskers look to outlet, it's Whitehill going over for Decker as he makes a good move through neutral ice. Decker on the backhand as he glides in behind the cage. Being fought for, and again, Augustana coming out with it. This one may chipped ahead for Grease. He'll lose the edge as Losing back skating to it. Has to fight for possession, turned it over. This one going right to Hansen, and a save made by Morgan.
Great play by Morgan. Heads up. Fights back from what happened in the first minute of the game, and now we're almost 5.5 in, and he's doing a great job. Hansen, though, man, he's got a hot hand still. That was a pretty powerful shot. Looks like he almost went for the 5-hole there. So, tricky situation, but Nebraska able to get out of it.
It's the face-off to the right side of Morgan, and now they escape with Beach. Beach looking for some revenge here, cutting in. Jackson Beach, high slot, fires it. Great save made. Traffic in front as Beach gets thrown down. Spin and turn shot denied by Radcliffe again. It's Beach picking up a rebound. Beach spinning away, now being forced off, still with it. Here comes Beach to the point. McGinnis fires, deflected in front. Rebound, they score! Jake Stadler, we're tied at 1.
Incredible job by Stadler. Nebraska fights back. Through 6 games, he had 2 goals. Did pretty well in the trip to Milwaukee as well. So just picking up another stat there, but I'm not even sure if that means a whole lot more than just a goal right there, Sam, because they're fighting back. That's what it means. It's a tie game, not even 7 minutes in. Great way to fight back, especially from Hansen's goal in that first minute.
I mean, all the momentum was immediately with the Vikings, and now Nebraska's fought back to tie it up. This one going to be chipped all the way down near the cage of Morgan, and it will have enough on it for icing. But I mean, how big is momentum when you come into a hockey game, Matt?
And you know what? It was huge right there because Augustana, it looked like they, especially Ty Hansen, keep bringing his name up for a good reason, but they looked like they had already been playing. They had already been warmed up. Nebraska, they came out and they're like, geez, we're down 1 right now, and it's not even a minute in. So I think for the past 7 minutes or so, though, Nebraska, it looked like they were playing like it was even kill, 0-0, 0-0, and that's how they were able to pick up that goal right there. Great job by Stadler.
It's Nebraska now with a new energy, but here come the Vikings. As Vinny Thill, and his shot denied, picked up behind the net again. They'll feed Phil, another one right into the skates. And now Nebraska can escape as Holderfield leaving it first man, and Brickle, he'll cut into the blue line now. Brickle getting around his man, got bodied off the puck. And now Weber's gonna crash into a loose puck, try to throw it to the front. It'll be picked up and covered. There's Radcliffe just looking for a whistle.
Smart play by Radcliffe, and we've seen a lot of those already by him. The only senior goaltender for the Vikings, the most experience out of the 4 tenders they have, so he's been between the posts a lot this season, Sam.
Absolutely, and that's what you need to do when you're a young team like Augustana. You have to lead on your leaders. A lot of sophomores on this roster. It's Pate throwing it back in deep. It's off the stick of Weber, and now right back to Nebraska at neutral ice, and another turnover. Here comes Grease. Toe drag around, poked away. Weber got Decker now. Decker going around his man with the forehand glide behind the net, and a great body to turn it back over, but Whitehill's right there to recover it. Whitehill looks to the point. Errant pass as Grease finds his outlet. That one going to be attempted for Grease, but they go for a change instead, and here's Pate now with some room. Pate will just try to loft it in and keep it with him. On the backhand, threw it behind the net as Augustana recovers. As Caden Smith threw it all the way down, and it will be on net, but Morgan will put a glove to it.
Yeah, now is not the time to keep the puck in play as much as you can, because now that it's a tie game, I don't mind when tenders do that, when they kind of bring it in, just put their glove over it. Winning face-offs right now is extremely important, and I know that's what a lot of these guys have on their mind right now.
So Nebraska has that top line out there again. Stadler in the circle as McCaminahan threw it over for Beach. Jackson Beach surveys, goes up ice, past the sweeping stick of Lucius, and now here comes Augustana again. On the right wing, shot comes into the glove of Morgan.
Another great play by Morgan. Overall, Nebraska looking a lot better defensively now as we're nearing the 10-minute mark of the first period than they did in the first 2 or 3 minutes or so. So picking up steam right now. Momentum has shifted dramatically and drastically so far. However, there's still a lot of hockey left to be played.
So we get the face-off once more to the left side of Morgan as Hansen is thrown out. It's Will Cashin fighting for it against Stadler. Throwing around Beach. Crashed on by Caden Smith. As Dre Burnt going cross ice for Cashin. Cashin through 2 men, turned it over to Beach. Beach trying to turn away. Had to smartly send it away before Nebraska was trying to recover here. Cashin doing a great job just to keep Nebraska honest with their possessions here. As the Vikings get a new line out there. Losing going up ice for Beach here. He'll just chip it in further. Dalen Gibson had trouble, and now Augustana in their own end. Having to skate towards it is Tanner Oyn. It's Beach picking up a loose puck now, dropping it back. McGinnis looking. Tried to go down low to Brickle, had it taken away. Brickle's fighting for it in the corner now. Kicked up the wall. Laid into McGinnis, will keep it in. Had it blocked as this one will escape the zone. Augustana with numbers now. 3-on-2 as Nebraska defensively just holding them firm. As the pass is again taken away. Past everybody once more as Merritt retrieving here. It is Carlson. Spinning away, the shot from the point right into the glove of Morgan once more.
Another glove save from Morgan. Another player you got to point out for Nebraska, though, is number 4, Jackson Beach. His name keeps coming up. And Sam, the way I look at Beach, the way I look at Jackson, he's a lot like a setter in volleyball. He's got plenty of options right in front of him. You know, do you go to the pin? Do you go to the middle? You go back row attack? Something like that. He plays a lot like that, where he is the facilitator of this Cornhusker offense.
Yeah, led the team in points in his freshman campaign and back for his sophomore year. He is looking to do some damage as Holderfield entering the zone here. With room, Holderfield still has it to the front. Weber, save made by Radcliffe.
Incredible job by Radcliffe. Sam, we mentioned it in the pregame and all the way up till puck drop that this game is going to be a lot about goaltender versus goaltender. Everybody has already let one in. Each guy has already let one go past them. So the idea of a shutout has gone past their minds, but hey, they're still playing a great job here early on in the first period.
This Pate shot right into the chest of Radcliffe. But again, that goaltending matchup, both these teams played both goaltenders in both games. I mean, Trey Solid started the first game back on September 26th, and then Radcliffe coming in for the last 5 minutes. Then they had Radcliffe start the second game as Augustana trying to break out. A shot, pad save, rebound. Morgan made the save. How did that stay out? Augustana still with it. Another shot on goal. Denied and swept away from the crease. Here comes Decker now. Decker walking into the zone, trying to go around his man and Burnt as Smith, hounded by the Huskers, Grease, and picked up once more by Holderfield. Pate recovering as Nebraska in the midst of a change. He'll be sent into the zone, Radcliffe to play it. He'll leave it as Burnt being pressured by Decker. Smith going up has got his man, and now here comes the Augustana offense as Braden Fine lost the handle. Ty Hansen gonna retrieve it here. Trying to spin away from 2 Huskers, turned over to Cashin, who gets a good shoulder check right into him. Heath Topel trying to play that one out now, as Augustana still with a good recovery. Brickle there trying to one-hand it, now a 2-on-1. McCray looking, McCray fires just wide. Losing trying to chip it back in, and now Augustana trying to break away with Cashin. Cashin to collect here. Tried to flip it back out. McCamanan against Hansen here. As McCammon looks up, deflected a stick and kept in again by Augustana. Morgan played it back, and now Losing going up for Topol as he couldn't get it out of the zone. And now a penalty upcoming to the Vikings. And Nebraska with their first chance on the power play tonight.
Well, first penalty of the game. And this is much to be expected here, Sam, as the last time these two squads faced off, they had 8 total in the game. Whole bunch of minutes there. These guys are going to get scrappy. I know it's early on, though, so they're going to save some of that fighting energy for later on when things might be even closer than they are right now. So I'm expecting a couple guys to head into that box tonight, Sam, for sure, 100%.
As Dalen Gibson makes his way to the box for the Vikings. And they will do the faceoff to the right side of Walker Radcliffe. Beach playing center here, as he will win it back. Going over for Merritt. Merritt fires deflected just wide. The rebound soaring back to the net and into the goal. A funky bounce gives Nebraska a 2-1 lead 6 seconds into the power play.
Immediately, they take advantage of what was going to be a little 2-minute 5-on-4 action. The Huskers say, hey, all we need is one shot. So the Huskers go from down 1, only 36 seconds in, to now being up 2-1 with 8 minutes left to go in the first. It did not take them that long, Sam, to get back into this game.
The Sioux Falls native Joey Lucius gives Nebraska the lead. As that top line for Nebraska still out there. Stadler, Beach, and Lucius. As McGinnis has trouble with the puck. Augustana has to tag up for the onsides. And now McGinnis having to play it back. Is Beach now in neutral zone? As Beach goes in with some speed. Beach cutting, trying to go all the way. Had it poked off his stick and fallen down, but a penalty still upcoming. And Nebraska will once again go back to the power play.
They could take advantage and capitalize off of another opportunity. They just did so moments ago. Sam, this game could easily be 3-1 in just a few moments. You know, not to get ahead of myself, but Nebraska looking great here. Another thing about that previous goal is Lucius, by far the team's point leader by a very wide margin. So just adding on to that stat tally, that point total, might see his line come up again, as they were the ones that scored on that power play. I believe we might have an issue with the door to get into the box. So number 7, Jace Tevedal, the sophomore forward from Fairmont, Minnesota. He's going to have to wait. There we go. The door opens, so he'll finally take a 2-minute timeout here, Sam. We're back down on the ice for some action.
It's Nebraska going with the other power play unit. Weber, Decker, and Brickle, the forwards, out there with Pate and Losing. The left side of Radcliffe here. As Weber winning it back, Decker controls to Losing. Eric Losing looking, going over. It's Pate. Return feed. Losing fires it. That one deflected, and Pate will have to retrieve in the neutral zone. As Pate going all the way behind the net of Morgan now. He will leave it. Losing. Drop pass to Pate here. And now up Decker. At it. Squeak off the stick, and Morgan misplays it. As Augustana now with a good chance to kill some valuable time on the power play. Good backhand feed, and here come the Huskers. Hunter Brickle entering the zone as he tried to chip it around one man. Couldn't do so cleanly and cleared all the way down the ice. New pair of defensemen and a couple of forwards subbing in for the Huskers. Nebraska with just a minute now on the power play as Pate looks up ice here. Pate gonna go up, and he's got Beach just off the tape. Beach skating right to it. Drop pass turned over. That one gonna be offsides as Martison just couldn't get there in time.
Man, Sam, that they're going to be wanting that one again. That would have been a beautiful opportunity right there. A whole lot of open ice in the middle of the rink right there, right in front of Radcliffe. Definitely could have got a shot on goal there, but just wasn't there in time.
So that first unit with Lucius, Beach, and Martison back out that scored the goal. But in the meantime, Cashin will fire, and a blocker save made by Morgan. And that's what you want to see. You got to have those short-handed opportunities. Just 37 seconds left in the Nebraska power play.
Augustana was not able to do a great job on that first penalty kill. Doing a really good job right now. They've only got 37 more seconds to go.
It's Nebraska winning the draw, and Beach playing it back for Merritt. As Merritt surveys. 25 left on the penalty, and now Beach with some room. Jackson Beach cutting away. Beach gonna throw it all the way around. Stadler gonna be the first one to it. Stadler down low to Lucius. And it looks like we're gonna have a penalty upcoming to Nebraska here. I believe Davis Martison got a little too chippy with one of the Vikings in Ty Hansen.
And Sam, I think fans from both teams were not happy about that one because on one hand, you know, Nebraska had the upper hand, so now we're equalizing that, and then Augustana not too glad that they're one of their best players getting a little banged up there early on in the game. So Ty Hansen will take a stroll on over to the bench, and so will Martison to the penalty box. So a little switch up of momentum there, as there's 13 seconds left on Augustana's penalty until Tevedal will be able to come back onto the ice, but still a 2-minute timeout coming up for the sophomore Husker.
So 4-on-4 hockey for 13 seconds until Tevedal exits the box. As Decker here in the circle can't win it cleanly. Shipped around for the Vikings now. This one thrown in front, a save made by Morgan, sitting on his pants. Another save, sprawling. This one kept in the zone for the Vikings. Down low, they work it. Grease fires, shoulder save by Morgan. Rebound picked up, chipped out, and Smith recovers. cross ice, now back to the point. They'll return it to Smith. To that far side, Smith again, the quarterback here, fires it into the glove.
Right at the letters on his chest. Morgan does a great job cleaning that one up. But hey, on the other shot there, early on, he went out of butterfly position right down to Caterpillar on the ground, sprawling out. And luckily for Husker fans, he was able to get back up, but Augustana definitely had a shot to go top shelf there and potentially tie this one up again. They were not able to convert on that opportunity though, Sam.
And Morgan played excellent last weekend against the Razorbacks, starting in both those games as Burnt spinning away. Back to Smith at the blue line. Great job by Carlson to pressure. Down low, they feed to Grease. Intercepted pass is cleared out of the zone. Radcliffe corrals the loose puck. And now Augustana with some room is Ty Hansen. Cutting in with speed. Hansen going all the way from the goal line. Looking to feed in front. He's got Grease, a shot, and they score! The Augustana power play ties it up at 2.
That was a great goal, a great shot, but it all came out of number 2, Ty Hansen. Instead of being selfish, and taking the shot on the left side, Morgan's stick side, he wraps around the net, right behind it, sets up his teammate for a great shot on the glove side that time. They knock it in. It's a tie hockey game here, Sam, 2-2 with just under 5 minutes to go.
As Carbonneau didn't win the initial draw, but here come the Vikings, still in front. Pass was deflected as Merritt staples him into the wall. Pass thrown up for Lucius here. As he enters with Beach right behind him. Lucius having to throw it down to Beach at the goal line. Beach deflected it off, and now Merritt tried to have his pass down low. Lucius towards goal. McGinnis gonna skate into this one, as Lucius couldn't get there in time, and now Augustana with Tyler Rundle trying to exit. McGinnis will throw it in deep again. Lucius one more time here, turned it over to Carbonneau. So the Vikings looking for an outlet. Going all the way right to the box, and a great job by Nebraska as both sides will regroup. This is Merritt feeding his man to McGinnis as McGinnis tried to go up to Brickle. It'll be collected by Trey Burnt here. Has a man all over him, and now Burnt going all the way through neutral ice. Chipped back ahead, and now a 2-on-1 for Nebraska. Feed over, Martinson in front, just deflected wide. Picked up again, right to Martinson, another save made. Chipped back in deep again for Brickle, but Augustana will send it out of the zone. Holderfield throwing it right to Hansen, back for Martinson, and he'll chip it in deep. As Radcliffe left it for his man and Dre Burnt. He's been out there for an extended shift now, as here comes Hansen with some room. Had to wait for the onside, and a great job by Nebraska to force that puck along the wall. Here is Pate. Shipping it up, trying to feed Martinson. Collected by Grease as he looks. Grease cutting all the way, and a great stick by Pate. Thrown back in front, and now Nebraska can exit as Decker feeding. Here's Whitehill with an opportunity, chipped it away from the goal. Back to Whitehill just off the tape as Grease recovering. Losing can't keep it in, and he will chase. Tried to feed it up to Nate Weber here, having trouble getting it out of the skates. The Nebraska captain having to throw it back in. Losing having to hold off his man behind the net, and he will escape. Weber backhand feed. Whitehill, he's got Decker with him. 3 Vikings trailing them as Decker chips it into the corner behind the cage. As Whitehill and Weber almost collide. Augustana trying to just throw it into the zone as Carbonneau gets labeled. Decker on the loose puck. He's going up, and it's got Weber. Weber now has Lucius to the left side. trying to drop it back to him. Couldn't get it there cleanly. McCammon going back behind for Lucius. Feed in the front, a shot blocked. Stadler with a great opportunity. Right back to Stadler, can't cleanly corral it. This one kept in by Beach at the blue line. Jackson Beach spinning away, losing the edge. Trying to go back to the point. Hansen chipped it up, and now a 2-on-1. Fed over to the front and just off the tape again. Puck luck for the Huskers, much needed right there. Held along the wall inside the final minute now with Hansen at the blue line. That one blocked off a body as Lucius trying to exit. It'll be backhanded in by Caden Smith. As McGinnis looks. Trying to go up to Beach here, right off the skates of Smith, thrown back in. Morgan testing it with the blocker. McCammon going up and Hansen recovers. Hansen spinning away, just chipping it back into the Nebraska end. McGinnis right in front, a great save by Morgan. And now watch out inside the crease. A lot of hands being thrown. Emotions high here in the final 20-some seconds of the period.
Yeah, and Sam, that all came from a questionable, I don't know, you call it pass, maybe a clear by McGinnis there on the back line, back by the boards. He really put the puck right in front of his buddy Morgan there, putting him in a rough spot. So the guy's getting a little chippy. Like I said, the first two games were close, maybe not score-wise, but pretty aggressive. So we will get a penalty out of that against the Vikings.
Yep,
That's
fine.
We'll head for a little timeout here, Sam. I'll throw it back to you, but pretty awkward series of events, I'd call that there. But yes, guys getting pretty aggressive towards the end of the period right now.
As that one cleared all the way down, Morgan coming out of this crease to play it here. As Cashin, crease right on him to pressure him. It's the final seconds ticking away here in the first period. One last chance for a shot. Merritt just gonna throw it in, and that will do it for the opening frame. Nebraska and Augustana tied at 2 after 1 period of play. Continued action when we come back here on the Husker Hockey Network.
Pick shows.
Oh, sport.
That's why we should never be ranked ever again.
Whenever we get ranked.
Damn it. What's CFP? Oh, you went 30, that's great. Next day. That's terrible. They're just like, ah. same interviews, we're just silent after the second question we asked was, how do you handle school? I don't know, radiation around. What? And I'm like, no way you just got that. Oh, it's like so flabbergasted. Like, I don't know how I do it. It's make time for what's important. Oh my God. So we didn't say that. And we were back on camera. And then when they were tossing it back, like they didn't get it off the corner right away. Janelle was just standing there like looking around. It will not be a night game. It's going to be the big game. Watch. Considering that college season will never come here again.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the John Breslow Ice Hockey Center here in Lincoln, Nebraska. My name is Sam Whitaker, joined alongside Matthew Malloy. And Matthew, after one period of play, both sides, Nebraska and Augustana, tied up at 2.
Yeah, well, you know, we started things off 36 seconds into the game, excuse me. You know, number 2 from Augustana, Ty Hansen, one of the best forwards, if not players overall for the Vikings, slipped one in right past Morgan, the goaltender for Nebraska. So they had a 1-0 lead for quite some time, and then Nebraska fought back. They tied things up, and then they actually took the lead 2-1 until Augustana was able to tie that up later on in the first period. So we had a very back and forth first period. I'm wondering if we're going to go down one of 2 paths here, Sam. The first one being things, you know, stay pretty back and forth like they were in the first. A lot of goals, a lot of scoring, a lot of shots. Or maybe we go down another path where we stay 2-2 pretty much the entire time, and we get a very defensive-heavy period.
As we resume action here in Nebraska on the power play to begin the period, the next minute 30, as Zach Merritt for the Huskers. Cutting up ice, he will drop it back for Jackson Beach, as Beach feeding along the wall. Chipped back in for Beach now in the corner, as Beach up to Merritt. Return feed. One more, tried to go over, and he's got Stadler in front of one-timer, save made! Fought for in the crease, and Beach picks up the loose change, spinning away. Beach to Martison, a save made. This one gonna go right to the blue line. Stadler backhands it to keep it in. Fought for, and it will escape. Here's Beach cutting away with speed. Beach having to go to the corners. This one is gonna be fed up for the Vikings, and now they can't escape and kill some time. Gonna throw it right on goal and go for a line change. Stadler leaving it for Merritt, who looks for more room. Merritt curling, going all the way in on the backhand feed to Stadler, who was headed off. Beach recovering, losing the stick in the process, and now Augustana fed over as Grease just wasn't there in time. That pass just off the tape of Beach as Merritt skating into it and going to the corner. Fought for and thrown back to the point. Pate to keep it in. Pate looking, fires it on goal. Tried to look for a deflection. Recovered again by Nebraska here. It's Merritt. Tried to chip it down the wall. As Weber had trouble with it. This one back, and it will go past the blue line. Nebraska off for a change, but a delayed penalty to the Vikings. Nebraska can really play free-handed now. As Weber's got Pate. As Pate throwing it in. It will be collected by Will Simmons. And Nebraska back to the power play.
Our first stoppage in play for this period, Sam, as I already mentioned, the first one in the first period, it did not take very long, but now as guys are getting into a groove, guys are getting into a rhythm, especially now with this power play here, I think we're going to see large chunks of time taken off the clock with a very fast-paced motion going on within them. You get one, maybe two very, very close shots on goal. But now things are going to look a little different for the next 2 minutes as Nebraska has a one-man upper hand here.
And on Augustana's bench, you would assume the coaching staff has to be upset with how undisciplined they have been so far. Merritt here, looking on goal, deflected, a pad save, and cleared away. Radcliffe going to have to be on his game here early in the period. Morgan chipping it away from a scrum as Beach with some room. The speedy sophomore feeding it over, and Stadler as Lucius crashing for it. Beach picks up the loose puck being held along the wall. Beach muscling off his man. Lucius right there to help him. Beach looking, going all the way around for Merritt here as Merritt just kept it in the blue line. Shipped it back, Martison. Had his stick slashed, Martison over, has got an open Stadler, wired to the net, deflected wide of the crease, it's Beach. Looking again, Beach, cross ice, one-timer, whiffed on it with Stadler. This one will be just off the tape of Merritt and down for Morgan as he mishandled it. You can see him visibly upset with how he handles, as now Augustana with a chance on goal and right into the chest of Morgan for a whistle.
Jake Stadler just going to have to shrug off that shot there. However, his missed opportunity leads to a bunch of fresh faces coming onto the ice. Got a face-off in the other zone here. Morgan doing a great job there, just going to fall on top of that one. Otherwise, we've had a very, very close second period so far, Sam.
Absolutely. As this face-off to the right side of Jacob Morgan. And one back by Decker as Pate skating into it. Nebraska with 40 seconds now on the power play. As in the skates of Losing, he lost it. Augustana with Rundle coming in. Rundle fires! Save made, picked up the rebound as Carbonneau back to the point. Shot in, deflected, rebound, save! Great job by Morgan to kick it away, and the Huskers with numbers. Thrown in, Losing, skating into it along the wall. Decker picks up the chip puck. Decker still looking down low. Weber calling for it as Weber goes to the net. Looking, Weber fires, blocked by a body. Decker picks it up. Decker fighting for possession. Brickell in there to help as Pate's got it. Pate looks on goal, blocked by a skate, and over the head. What a pass it would have been. Morgan out to play it. Morgan juking and jiving his man as Pate recovering, throwing it back for Losing. Losing up ice, tried to create a turnover. Decker going up for Weber now. Weber one-on-one, drop back for Decker. Decker all the way, tried to go high and sends it out of the rink.
Close call there. Radcliffe keeps his composure. A lot of guys full of a lot of capabilities in this period right now, Sam. You got to watch out for a lot of hot hands. There were a lot of Vikings that got hot early on in the first, but now everybody's warmed up and ready to go. That is first stoppage in play in just about a minute, so the guys were moving pretty fast there. Whole lot of shots getting in. Not a lot have been too close to either goaltender.
Face off to the right side of Radcliffe. As Beach going to skate into it, as Grease couldn't come up with it. This one funneled towards goal. A lot of contact in front. Merritt skating into it. Blocked by a body in front. Backhanded, not out. And now Augustana trying to exit just right into the tape of McGinnis. Trying to feed Beach here. He gets bodied off the puck. And Smith fed Grease, and a good body by Merritt again right near the box. This one trying to be gloved down. Augustana will now recover as Dre Burnt trying to find grease just off the mark. Augustana getting a fresh group of forwards out as Merritt circling behind his own net. Chips it up, it's Lucius. Tried to go up for Beach here ahead of the pack as Burt intercepts it and has a stick lifted by Beach, and now Lucius trying to chip it ahead. Hansen mishandles as Lucius throws him down in the process. This one up ice and just past a swinging Zach Merritt. It is Will Cashin picking up a loose puck here, and a good body by Merritt. Cashin has got some room now. Cashin looks, Rickles on him. This one deflected away, picked up near the wall and sent again behind the crease. Towards the front, right into the pads of Morgan.
Morgan yet again staying on top of things here. Let one slip, and then another. So 2 goals against him right now. So far, though, the second period, Sam, like I said, we could go one of 2 ways. We could get really defensive, or we could just kind of let things fly and pucks get past each tender, but hasn't really gone that way.
That was kind of the case in the first game. These 2 teams played back in late September. Second game, a bigger defensive battle. But now Nebraska looking to take the lead here as McCammon entering the zone. Hansen will recover here, trying to chip it away and turned it over in the process. Huskers just not there in time, but Losing keeping it in with a good hand, and he gets bodied by a couple of Vikings and a whistle. And I believe, yes, we will get a tripping call, and Nebraska once again headed to the power play.
Ty Hansen, the sophomore forward. We've talked a lot about him tonight. However, for the next 2 minutes, we're not going to be bringing up his name that often, as he will take a timeout for tripping. Nebraska, they get another chance to score here on a power play. Sam, how do you take that? We knew guys were going to be aggressive, but it seems the Vikings have been a lot more so far in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, the discipline just hasn't been there for Augustana tonight. You know, in the first series, it was chippy all the way up until the end of games. Now that these teams know each other, they're going to see what they can really get out of each and every shift. Stadler collecting the puck here and throwing it down the wall for Martison. Huskers a good rotation now. Martison feeding back for Stadler on the one touch. Stadler going low. It is Lucius circling. Lucius trying to go cross ice for Beach. Beach picks it for Merritt. Merritt towards goal, deflected. Rebound in front, poked into the pads. Radcliffe standing tall.
Kept his shoulders up right there, which was the right play. And then as soon as he felt the puck hit the letters on his chest, just closed in right on top of it. Incredible play by both goaltenders. Just goes to show that Radcliffe and Morgan, they're having themselves pretty good games tonight, even though they've let in a total of 4 goals so far, 2 apiece.
And what a matchup this is going to set up for tomorrow. Nebraska and Augustana playing game 1 tonight, and then game 2 tomorrow at about a 3:30 puck drop right back here at Breslow. Hope you can join us for that one as Beach skating into the face-off for Nebraska. Beach looking, going all the way around the zone. Merritt searching. Martison couldn't get that cleanly, and it's chipping all the way back to the Nebraska end for Stadler to handle. Behind the back, Merritt picking it up and now looking. Zach Merritt will rim it around as Radcliffe got a stick on it. Stadler back to the point, Martison. Now Beach, here comes Beach, over. Stadler rips it just wide. Recovered, here's Beach again behind the goal. Lucius chips it in front, picked up, here's Merritt. Merritt looking, back to the point. Beach one more time, Beach walking in, tried to go back door, cleaned up and taken away by Augustana. Morgan couldn't cleanly handle it as it jumped out in front of the crease. Just 35 seconds left in the power play. Beach gonna go all the way himself. Beach going around one, lost the handle, recovers it. Jackson Beach spinning away, tried to feed Lucius, and the one-timer just off the tape of Losing would have been an empty 4x6. And now Morgan's pass deflects off the body. Nebraska gets a new unit out there on the power play, and the net has come off its moorings. And Radcliffe upset with the referee's delayed call.
He is visibly upset with the referees right now, having some choice words with them. But man, you think back to the potential shot on goal by Lucius. I mean, Sam, that was a close one right there. As you said, the net was pretty much empty. There was not a whole lot of bodies in front of it. That could have changed things, could have made it 3-2 here. You kill the power play, end it, get rid of it, go back to 5-on-5 hockey with a 1-goal lead. However, now there's only 7 seconds left, so Augustana, they're going to have to calm down a little bit here, especially Radcliffe. He got very, very upset with multiple refs there. They're going to put the net back into the correct spot, and then the Vikings, they're going to only have about 7 seconds, which I would correlate to maybe 1, maybe 2 shots here that they're going to have to kill off and then get the puck down on the other end, try getting some shots on goal of their own.
Yeah, and it's all going to come down to the face-off, Matt. I mean, whoever wins this face-off can really take advantage, and I believe we're going to get a penalty against Radcliffe here.
So I will take back everything I just said. I was wondering if they were going to give him a call or anything. And I mean, you got to think about this Viking coaching staff here in their first inaugural season. So first year for head coach Ben Prisby. I mean, you got to be somewhat upset with your goalie. You got to be proud of him for sticking up for himself and telling the refs, hey, my net is not really in the right spot right now. It's drifting off the ice, going in the other direction. But at the same time, I think he might have said something that went a little too far. So now they'll have 2 guys in the box instead of 1, but in about 7 seconds or so, that'll go down to 1. So still, roughly, they have yet again another 2 minutes to kill here.
Tanner Owen going into the box to serve the penalty for Radcliffe. So I believe they tagged him with an unsportsmanlike. Weber in the circle for Nebraska, and he wins it back. Losing, looking, one-timer from Pate, right into the pads. This one is cleared away, down for Morgan. Losing, escaping. As now he looks up, it's Brickle with some speed. Brickle in his own feet tried to feed Losing in the front. On the side of the net, Nebraska looking to recover as Weber fed it around Decker now. Decker down for Weber one more time. Over cross crease, couldn't get it to Losing. Losing, searching, back, Brickle towards Decker. Shot, pad save, Radcliffe. Decker again, back to the point, Losing. Skating in, Losing fires, deflected rebound, Decker, score! Lakin Decker, power play goal!
Decker, one of those guys, you know, he's not top 3 guys for point leaders or anything like that. However, he still gets the job done. He's up there in about that top 5, maybe 6-man range, if I do say so. But Decker getting the job done, and you were wondering when that puck was going to drop, Sam. It was bound to happen. Vikings have been dealing with penalty troubles all game, especially here in the second period. It's not too often you get an unsportsmanlike on your goaltender, so that's something to look into a little bit further. But hey, the Cornhuskers take that 3-2 lead. We'll take a little break here for get this face-off going. But Sam, I'll throw it back to you. Great job there by the Huskers to take the lead.
As now chippy play, and we will get a penalty off the face-off immediately. And I believe they might have tagged Martinson here. Yep.
Just as everything was looking to go so well for Nebraska, they will now have to send a man to the box. And yes, that will be Martinson. I believe that's who they threw in. Yeah, number 10, Davis Martinson, the sophomore forward, immediately off of the faceoff, like you said, Sam. I mean, that puck didn't really get out of that opening circle until the ref threw his arm up, blew the whistle, and sent Martinson to the box.
So Augustana now gets their chance on the power play. As Smith working in, has Beach right on him. Smith still looking. That was burnt as they go down low. A cross crease pass just off the mark. Collected as Smith threw it in deep. Hansen chasing for it. McGinnis right there. Can't clear it out of the zone. Burnt fighting for it with Beach. Beach will have it escape the blue line. Talk about the muscle of Jackson Beach right there. Minute 30 in the power play now. Here comes Will Cashin with speed. Cashin going all the way. One-hander. Save made by Morgan with a lot of contact. Picked back up. Hansen dropping to Grease. Back to the point. Here's Burnt and Grease, now to Smith. Smith looks, feeds Cashin. Back, Smith, shot, blocker save. Burnt, loose puck here, over for Smith, and now back again. Cashin, cross crease, couldn't zip it onto the tape. Burnt, spinning away, Beach right on him. Hansen, Burnt again. Smith, top of the zone. Smith looks, Cashin, down low. Hansen tried to feed it off the side of the net. Hansen all the way in, recovered by Cashin, sprawling is Morgan to make the save.
Morgan playing lights out in this second period, save after save. And you know what? Radcliffe has had a lot more on his plate as far as penalties go, as his boys, especially some of his defensemen, have had to go onto the box tonight. But now Morgan stepping up when he needs to. There's only 34 seconds left on this power play. The Huskers trying to kill it off as best they can.
It's detrimental for Radcliffe to get a little bit of a break. He has been tested heavy tonight. The new unit out for Augustana as the cross-ice pass just not in the right place. Recovered, tried to feed to the slot, and now taken away. Heath Topel with a lot of speed here. He'll fire it right into the glove of Radcliffe, and he'll wait for a whistle.
Overall, well job there by the Vikings, including Radcliffe, who will just wrap that up in his glove. But Nebraska coming away there. They even get a little breakaway by Topel, as you saw. So as far as a power play kill goes, they have been on the nose about that tonight, Sam. The Vikings, not so much, as 2 of Nebraska's 3 goals have been scored off of that power play.
As Augustana winning the faceoff in their own end in the final 10 seconds of the power play for the Vikings. As here comes Grease, as time expires on the penalty. Rebound recovered by the Vikings, and now a good chance. Carlson tried to feed Martison. He'll go 3-on-3. Feed over, back to Carlson. That one through the crease. Martison going back to the point. Pate throwing it in further. Is Will Simmons being pressured off the puck here. And now Augustana looking to outlet as Holderfield trying to get it away from him. A lot of contact in front. Morgan is playing to that side of the net as the puck escapes the zone. Morgan retrieving a stick in the process while Augustana going to head back into the zone. It is Hansen again. Hansen trying to wrap it around. Had lost it on the side of the net. As Gibson threw it back wide of the cage. Hansen another recovery here. Hansen towards the net, just over. It'll be recovered as Brickell trying to escape. Chipped it up right to a Viking. Carlson now will flip it off the wall and out. Morgan going to go behind the net to pick it up himself. Pate up ice, off the skate of Beach. As Hansen now fed over. Here's Cashin with room. That one just ahead of his man. Back for Cashin here. As Cashin's got some room, cutting to the net. Great job to take it away by Holderfield. Couple of Huskers and Vikings meet as Beach now couldn't cleanly collect it. That one floated to Morgan. Nebraska hemmed into their own zone here. Picked up for the Vikings. Backhanded feed, couldn't get to Cashin. Smith with the one touch in deep. Holderfield shipping it up the wall. Not all the way out here towards the net. Hansen swinging it right into Morgan's chest.
As we near the latter half, or I guess we're in it right now, but really, waiting to get to the thick of it of this second period. Sam, I always say this part of the game determines how the rest of it will be played. The end of the second period determines whether or not the third is going to be really gritty and aggressive, or if teams are going to play a bit, off more and a lot more defensive.
We're going down one of those two paths, a bit of a mixture of the paths you mentioned. Really defensive right now. Augustana recovering as that one hitting the ceiling here at Breslau.
See another break in the action, but Morgan overall doing a well job, in the crease there, but Radcliffe hasn't seen too much action since that penalty against him occurred, and there was a little 2-minute break there where Nebraska went in the power play and scored.
As Nebraska looking to escape the zone as McCammon couldn't cleanly find his man. Here come the Vikings, losing the handle as Losing tried to throw it back out, recovered as Losing throws the body around. McCammon up the wall, and now here is Decker. Gave Nebraska the lead with his last goal on the power play. Sent around the wall. McCammon couldn't get there in time. It's going to be a race as Losing has his man in Rundle all over him. It'll be scooped up by Whitehill, who chipped it off the wall to himself, and now Nebraska with an opportunity. Decker looking, try to chip it on goal. Made Burnt lose his stick in the process as Grease couldn't cleanly kick it up to himself. Lakin Decker gliding into the zone. Decker trying to go all the way to the front. Great body by Burnt. Without his stick, he'll finally recover it. Is Burnt leaving it behind the net. Nebraska with an opportunity as Decker going all the way to the point. That one for Merritt, and a whistle blown. And did they call the offsides there?
Looks like they did, but Sam, I feel like a dog right now. Every time that whistle blows, it's like I'm trained to look up at the board and see who the penalty's on. You know, we've just had so many guys head to the box tonight, and it makes me wonder how penalty-driven this third period is going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, we continue to talk about it because it's been a problem. It's just been undisciplined hockey, more so for Augustana, but you might see a bit of an adjustment with the coaching to tell Augustana to really just stop overthinking it. I mean, a lot of these penalties have just come from Augustana really putting their sticks and themselves in the wrong position. It's Nebraska looking to escape and add on to that lead. It's a great pass to Beach here in stride. Beach all the way, gets taken down, still with it, feed to the front. Great shot, the rebound, they score! What an effort by Jackson Beach, fed back, and Nebraska doubles the lead.
What a play. All quarterbacked and facilitated, like you said, Sam, by number 4, Jackson Beach. And it's going to be number 29, Jake Stadler, I believe, who will pick up on the goal there. His second of the night. Nebraska takes a 2-goal lead, which is the most dangerous one to have in this sport.
And that top line just continuing to produce. But again, that 2-goal lead, the most dangerous in hockey. Final 5 minutes here in the second period. As Augustana recovering. They'll look to bounce back. This one is going to be chipped behind the net of Morgan. Pate feeding it up the wall. And now it is Carlson. Fed up. Brickle tried to chip it ahead. Brickle and Carlson go to the corner against Burnt, chipped around. As Holderfield threw it over the head, and Martison tried to feed it to Brickle. Burnt right there to spin away from Brickle, right in front of his own net. And now he can outlook as Augustana again chipping it behind the net. It's dump and chase, the strategy here late for the Vikings. As Nebraska can't get it out of their own zone that time. It's Pate trying to spin away from a hit. Held along the wall and towards the front. Carlson picking up a loose puck here and chipping it up. Martison will dump it in and go off for a change. Picked up by Holderfield, who sent it down low for Carlson. Return to Holderfield, up in the air, fighting for it. Decker along the wall. Holderfield again just chipping it across the ice. Weber's going to be right there to pick it up and fight for possession. This one over the head of everybody and into the Nebraska bench, just wide of the glove of Jacob Broadfoot.
See another stoppage in play there. The last one was just about a minute and a half ago. Sam, what you said a few moments ago about the Vikings going dump and chase now, I completely agree with you. That's what I'm seeing too. I'm seeing Augustana going pucks deep right now, which is a smart play when you're down 2 and the period is coming to a close.
Gonna try and generate offense any way you can, so you can create a turnover in the other team's defensive end. As Losing chipping it down for Weber. As Weber backhand feed. Losing will have to skate into the loose puck and go behind the net. As Decker has got some room now. Decker up Here's McCammon towards the net, blocked away by a couple of skates. Losing takes a rough hit towards Decker in front. Can't cleanly get a shot off. Decker's still with it though. Fighting with everything he's got. Weber's gonna come in there to help him. Right back to Decker. Decker trying to get a shot off at the side of the net, poked at. Back out for McCammon. McCammon looks deflected. And now Augustana may have numbers. Possible 2-on-1. McCammon hurrying back, and Augustana going off for a change. Rundle behind his own net. Looking back to the point. Here's Burnt with a lane. Pad save. Picked back up. Nebraska can recover. Here's Weber, and now feeding Whitehill. Back to Weber. Drop pass. Decker towards the front. Blocker away. Again trying to feed Decker. Here comes Rundle once more. He will throw it on goal as Morgan deflects it off the glass. Picked back up for the Vikings. Fought for and now recovered. In the corner towards the front of the net. Deflected away. Whitehill flipping it over the head as Topol giving way. And they're going to blow the whistle and say head out onto the bench.
Another stoppage in play just like that, where the puck is going off into the benches near the coaches. We're nearing that point though, Sam, where you're at about a 2-minute warning. And just moments ago, I thought this one was for sure gonna roll on into the third period at a tie puck game 2-2. Nebraska says no though. They deny that, they make it 4. We're at the most dangerous lead you can have right now in this sport, at a 2-goal lead. The Huskers, I know they just want to close this thing out and head into the locker room with a comfortable lead. The Vikings, you know, whatever you want to call it, pucks deep, dump and chase, they're really trying to stay in the fight here. As the first 2 games when they played Nebraska, they went about exactly like this.
As Brickle can't win the faceoff against Hansen. And now Will Cashin feeding his line mate and Braden Fine. Cashin fighting for possession here, and Brickle trying to poke it ahead to himself, kicking it to his stick. Fought for right in front. And now Merritt trying to recover. A great spin pass just off the mark from McCray to Topol. And now here comes Hansen with a bit of room. Merritt trying to throw the shoulder into him. A great job to dodge the hit as Braden Fine trying to spin away from McCray. Merritt can't cleanly get it on his tape as he'll hold Hansen along the wall. Puck just sitting there right between a couple of bodies, and a lot of physicality now between Brickle and Fine. As now Brickle's down. Tried to feed to the front of the net. Picked back up. As Simmons clear around the wall. Hansen fighting for it. Back to the point for Dre Burnt here. Is Burnt towards goal. Pat save Morgan. Deflecting away from the crease. Back to Burnt one more time. Whiffed on the shot. McCray trying to backhand it away. He'll leave it for McGinnis. McGinnis walks in, feeds over for Topol just in front. Topol fired it just wide. McCray chipped back in for Topol. Couldn't cleanly get it on the tape, and now Grease with a bit of room. Watch him fly. Ashton Grease lost the handle, got it right back. Shot comes in. Save made by Morgan.
That was a great shot, but the one right before, Sam, I mean, you know, the Vikings were able to climb the mountain. Everybody got in their own positions, great positions too. There was a lot of ice on the open side and right in front of Morgan, but then a whiff. That's not what you want to see in the final 2 minutes. That was a great shot overall, though. We might end up seeing another one as the face-off is here in the Nebraska defensive zone.
But just under a minute to play. Nebraska gonna have to hold out, fend off this Augustana deadly rush, who has just been greater as the game has gone on. Beach with the loose puck up the wall. Couldn't find his man on the tape in Statler as Burnt will throw it in. Pate's going to be the first one to it as 2 Vikings crashing on him. It's recovered as Holderfield backhand feed in the skates of Stadler, and now here comes Beach. Chipped it off the wall. Couldn't do so cleanly. Augustana trying to recover, and now it's Ashton Grease. Looking, fed over just off the mark from Jace Trevital. Back to the blue line, a shot comes in, blockered away, but that will do it for the second period. Nebraska adding on to their lead, a 4-2 hockey game after 2 periods of play. Don't go anywhere. Continued action when we come back. There we go. Period.
not going to play them again until like 2029. I don't know when we'll ever play Texas again. Like, we're a rival of Texas. Like,
yeah, but I think at some point we gotta understand that there are generational rivalries that we're going on
Right.
forever and should go on forever. And then I think there are some really strong
yeah. I mean, like, we don't like to do either.
I don't know if I can call that a rivalry.
Not anymore. Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot lost with conference like Rutgers going to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA for a conference game is wrong. I'm sorry, it's wrong. That too. Like, God.
I also like when it comes to
For us, no. Think of like Maryland women's tennis having to go to Oregon for a conference match. And those matches are midweek.
I bet they're thinking like, what the heck?
I mean, imagine if this happened 4 years ago. Like, stupid. Thank God we're online classes. The crazy thing in all of this is like, we try to professionalize college sports. Forget that they are students too. I mean, they're athletes. Like daily schedule? These are your headset volumes.
That's not
Put up this little tease if you guys want to tease that next week. Scarlet Green game. Yep. You guys gonna have to hop back on here in a minute?
Just when they get back out. Wait for both nets to be set.
I told Matt you guys can tease this.
What's that?
The next Scarlet Green game. We have it.
You want me to come down? No, I can. I can see it.
Yeah, maybe when we come back, we'll set me up. Maybe we can get back.
You got other stuff going on around camera in you, stuff like that.
We're on Nebraska News Service.
What?
We're on Nebraska News Service.
Gotcha. Nebraska News Service. Tomorrow too.
Maybe you say something. Maybe you say like if you want hockey, chicken
You guys can count yourselves back in. So whenever you're ready.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the John Breslow Ice Hockey Center here in Lincoln. Third period action just about to be underway. My name is Sam Whitaker, joined alongside my good friend Matthew Malloy. Got a lot of action coming up here on Nebraska News Service. Matthew, why don't you take it away?
Well, if you're looking for some more hockey, we've got tomorrow morning, the women's team will take on UW lacrosse. And then in the afternoon at 3:30, we've got this exact same matchup going on. So that'll be interesting. Nebraska on pace right now to win this one. And if they do, they'll be looking for a sweep tomorrow. Augustana is still in the fight. If you're looking for something a little bit other than hockey, next Wednesday we've got the Scarlet and Cream game for Husker softball. That one will start off pretty late next Wednesday night, the 24th. As far as this game goes, Sam, we've had a lot of penalties, a lot of goals, and a lot of hard work down there on the rink.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are in a 4-2 hockey game now, thanks to Lakin Decker giving the Huskers a lead on the power play, and then a rebound goal potted by Jake Stadler. It's given Nebraska the 2-goal cushion they sit with currently. But we get back to live action. Jacob Morgan still in the pipes for Nebraska. Walker Radcliffe on the other end for the Vikings, and both have just played excellent tonight. But we get ready, top line against top line. The third period is underway. Morgan will play it around the wall. It'll be thrown back around as Mason Hack and the Vikings look to start the period on the right note. Grease fed to the front, pass picked up, shot comes in right into the chest of Morgan. Rebound swept away and out of the zone. This one gonna be picked up, an errant pass, ripped on goal, and they score! Joey Lucius! 5-2 Nebraska!
What a play, Sam. Lucius already had a goal in this game, a nice backhander. That one was on the other side of the ice as it came in the second period, this one in the third. This period mirroring the first one, however, in Nebraska's favor this time around. If you can remember all the way back at the start of the first, 36 seconds in, Ty Hansen took the lead for the Vikings, and now only 32 seconds into the third period, Nebraska strikes again. They've got a 3-goal lead, looking pretty good. 20 minutes left to play, though, Sam. A lot of hockey left, a lot of opportunities for both teams.
There is so much time left. You can never say never in the sport of hockey. As we get back to action, Merritt gonna skate around his own net and throw it back now. McGinnis wasn't prepared for that one. Trying to chip it off the wall. Hansen right there to pressure him. Hansen coming away with the puck. Now back to the point. Smith's shot blockered away. That may have hit the post and deflected away. And I believe it got Will Cashin in the hand. Now here comes Nate Weber. Looking for a little bit of help here. Delayed as much as he could before Augustana is going to now go back into the Nebraska end. It's Hansen 2-on-1. Hansen rips it. Save made by Morgan. Rebound picked up. Kicked away by the toe. Back to the point now. Down low, a backhander. Wide of the crease. It's picked up again for Augustana. Smith is going to throw it back in deep once more. Whitehill on the other side to clear it out of the zone. As Fine tried to chip it in a little too high, and the whistle blows.
Second stoppage in play here for the period. The first was a goal, and now this one is going to be a little normal face-off coming up right now. Sam, boys are heating up early from both teams. The Vikings, though, are back in a position where they need to fight back for the lead they once had.
And coming into this game, we talked about what a matchup this would be. Obviously, the two prior matchups, Nebraska dominated the first one, and then a very defensive battle all the way through the next one. As Augustana looking to recover a great shot and a pad save by Morgan here. As Nebraska trying to escape the zone. Pass to Carlson, couldn't get there in time. Morgan now leaving it for Losing. As Losing chipping it around for Martison. Rickel. Now here is Carlson. Into the zone, Carlson curling, going all the way up. Backhander off the pad of Radcliffe. Picked up by Rundle. There's a lot of contact in front of the Viking bench, and now here comes Vinny Thill. Thill will wire it on goal, sticked away by Morgan. Recovered by Holderfield here for the Huskers. As he will skate up ice with a bit of room, chipped it around Thill. As Augustana goes off for a change, Grease fed over. And it chips back, and now here comes Lakin Decker. Decker rips it on goal and scores! Deuces wild for Lincoln. Decker, second of the night.
Very similar to the goal we just saw. Lucius had already scored one, and Decker had as well. They both now have 2 on the night. 6 total for Nebraska as they heat up very early on in the third period, Sam.
What an offensive showing for the Huskers, and what a perfect time to get hot if you're Nebraska. Not even 5 minutes into the final period of play, and Nebraska has already jumped their lead to triple Augustana's. Decker chipping it off the stick of a Viking. McCray picks it up. That one just off the mark as Carter Yerke tried to clear it away. Augustana again being bodied in their own end. This one going right to Parker Yerke. Yerke looking, trying to drag it inside. Pate right there to deny him any opportunity. As Pate going all the way up, couldn't find his man in McCray. Decker recovers with the hand. Right in front of the Nebraska bench, picked up. And a errant tap right there. That will put Augustana back on the power play as Nebraska touches up. So a good opportunity now for the Vikings to get back into this game.
Yeah, Augustana now, they really need to take advantage of this opportunity right here. Holderfield will head to the box, but the Vikings will come on with the upper hand. 5-on-4 hockey, Sam, but it's nothing we're not used to so far. I don't have the exact number of penalty minutes tonight, but you know what? I'd say it's north of a lot.
Yeah, I mean, penalties galore tonight for both sides. Augustana seemed to struggle with it early. Now Nebraska's gotten into it a little bit here in the back half. Trey Burnt, cross ice, it's Cashin. Looking, Cashin dropping it back, Hansen. Hansen circling, back. Cashin going all the way to the front. A great job by the Husker defense to hold him away. Hansen, backhand feed, Burnt. Cross ice to his defensive partner. Now down low, Cashin walking in, now backing out. Down low, it's Hansen. Tried to feed Cashin, Smith, one hand. Feed to Greasier off the skate, and a great job by Stadler to clear it away. Stadler's got some speed, cutting back and towards Beach. Blocker save by Radcliffe. Grease will throw it back behind Hansen, and now Burnt. Spinning away, Trey Burnt. He's had a long shift at this Augustana power play unit, trying to clean things up. Losing the little backhand as he goes down to the neutral zone. It is Ty Hansen with a bit of room. Here he comes weaving in off the skates of Cashin and cleared by Martison. Radcliffe again leaving it as Will Simmons looking for options. Cross ice to Hansen off the wall. Hansen holding on to it a little too long now. Martison back McCammon and cleared once more. 25 seconds left in the penalty to Holderfield. All the way up ice, finds pass, almost picked off. He'll recover it. Braden Fine, one of the Vikings on that top line that's been a little quiet tonight, aside from Ty Hansen. Once again, Radcliffe playing it behind his net for Simmons. Cross ice, he has got Fine here. In comes the freshman from Rapid City, spinning back to the point, and now Decker in a 2-on-1 with Topol. Chipped it off the legs of Topol, and Decker's got it with him. Decker poked away from Simmons as he presses him along the wall. Topol in there as well to help fight. This one gonna be popped out, and now Fine, cross ice, he's got his man. Going all the way in, a great job by McGinnis to hold it off. It's behind the cage and fought for now. McCray to the point, shot wide of the cage. Maybe have looked for the deflection or a pass here. Augustana has to tag up for the onsides. Nebraska's got an opportunity to do something here with McGinnis. Drop back, Decker looking for the hat trick. Fires it just off the pipe. Rebound collected McGinnis and swept back behind the Augustana goal. Lucius in there fighting for a body. It is Andre Carbonneau. Decker causing a turnover, tried to find Beach in front. Lucius, a lot of hands to the face from both sides. It is Vinny Thill losing possession now all the way up. Lucius couldn't get the handle on it. And that one will escape into the Viking bench.
Oh, stoppage in play, the first one we've seen after that okay power play kill, penalty kill. Nebraska, Holderfield gets out of the box. But the Huskers, there were only 4 of them, but it looked like they were playing as 5 right there, Sam. They did a great job staying aggressive, even though they were a man down.
Defense wins championships, and if you have a penalty kill like Nebraska's, you got to use it to your advantage when you do make those mistakes. It's Nebraska looking to escape their own end. Stadler cutting the other way and now going to Pate as he tried to find Beach, a little too much on it. Right into the glove of Morgan. He'll leave it for Holderfield, fresh out of the box. Off the wall, right to himself. Holderfield's got some speed as Beach threw it into the zone. Holderfield crashing all the way and drop back towards the net. Bouncing puck into the glove of Radcliffe.
Feels like a good time, Sam, to, just a friendly reminder. This is Augustana's 3rd game of the season, and all 3 have been against Nebraska. They lost the first 2 4-1 and 9-4. So a lot of scoring, a lot of high energy. Looks like we're on pace for a similar result to the first 2, though.
That's such a tough thing to do when you've played so few games, and your opponent like Nebraska is already 4 series into the year. As Losing fighting for a puck in the corner. Augustana coming away with it now. Great job to create a turnover. Back to the point, McCammon towards the goal, wide of the cage. Martison threw it back to the front. McCammon collects the loose puck. Deflected on goal, wide again. Backhanded by Simmons. Losing coming in, trying to throw it in front was Martison. Losing walking into it. He gets a contact from behind and draws the penalty.
The fans are liking that one right there. 12 minutes left to play. I know that may seem like a lot, but when it's a 4-score game, 4-goal lead for Nebraska, you got to use as much time as possible if you're a Viking right now to take advantage of that opportunity, especially when you're on offense. They really haven't seen a whole lot of aggressive offensive action here in the 3rd period, and now they're definitely not going to see a whole lot for the next 2 minutes, as one of their boys are going to have to take a little time out.
Yeah, Parker Yerke in the box for the Vikings. As Beach wins the faceoff back. Stadler return to Beach. Beach cross ice. Here's Merritt. Wires it on goal into the chest.
See exactly what's going on here. That was a quick stop. We've seen a couple of those tonight, Sam, where you get a face-off down in the defensive, or in this case, offensive zone for the Cornhuskers, and then they rip off a shot. Clock stops right away.
Fought for along the wall. Nebraska trying to come away with the puck here, as Beach having to defend his man, and Augustana now going to try and kill as much time as they can. Stretch pass into the Nebraska end for Beach now. Quarter of the power play gone, 1:30 left as Beach has got Stadler. Talk about a top, very, very hot top line. Stadler, Lucius, and Beach have been lethal. Talk about another guy, Lakin Decker, who's got 2 goals tonight. A couple of hat trick watches for both sides. As a lot of bodies causing a turnover, a lot of Huskers collide. It's going to be collected by Martison, who feeds Stadler. Trying to rim it around for Beach. Merritt picks it up behind the goal. Merritt surveys. He's got Decker back at the point. Stadler for Beach. Beach walking in. Walked by a body and Trey Burnt. What a job that is. Morgan coming all the way out of the crease here to play it. He will leave it back behind the goal. Stadler. Drop. Here is Merritt. Merritt gliding through the zone, now going all the way in. Had the puck taken off his stick behind the goal. He's going to feed Weber now. Weber on the other side, spinning away. Decker searching. Weber down low in the crease. Weber fires. Save made by Radcliffe. May have gotten it with the dome as that one escapes the zone. Morgan leaves it with 15 seconds left in the penalty to Parker Yerke, It is Hunter Brickle cutting. Brickell going to go all the way in. Searching for an option, backhand feed towards the net. Still got it on a stick here. Brickell lost it, has it back. Pass couldn't get to Decker in time. Decker fighting in the corner for it. Back Holderfield fires from the point, blocked by a body. Decker, Brickell, back to Decker, a backhander wide. Brickell trying to recover here. Great job by the Augustana forwards and defense to crash. Fought for again, Simmons. He's had a solid night here, especially in the third, as Grease looks to outlet for the Vikings, and they can escape their zone. It will be back for Drew Holderfield here. Weber and now Decker. Bouncing puck is Augustana. Clear attempt is whiffed on by Hudson Batty. Morgan leaving it again for Holderfield, who cuts away. Holderfield again as Pate looks. Pate tried to clear it away, couldn't get it off his stick. It'll go right to Beach, and here comes the speedy sophomore once again from Lincoln. Beach walking in, but they will tag him with the offsides.
Might have been a little too fast there. Beach swings in. He's got the speed, like you said, Sam, but the timing just wasn't there. Man wearing the A, that patch right there on his chest. They'll look to set up for something here. Sam, I mean, Nebraska's looking for 7-2 right now. Their offense is still looking pretty hot, even though they've got a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, and everybody in the lineup is happy. This is one of those nights where you can kind of roll all four lines, because everybody has just been clicking, especially the top half of the lineup. It's a good collision along the wall. Will be recovered as Hudson Batty backhand feed around to Gibson, wasn't there. This one finds Beach as he goes down, picked up by the Vikings. This one off the wall, McCammon there to read the pass and send it right back. And they will get McCammon with the icing really close to that red line.
About 8.5 minutes to go here, Sam, and I would say the number one most important thing for both teams right now, Augustana specifically, is keep your guys out of that penalty box. Nebraska's got to do it too, because they may have a 4-goal lead, but keeping that lead, you got to keep your guys out of the box, right? I know Augustana has struggled with it more tonight, but if they want even a chance here to come back and get a close win, get something near towards the end of the third period, got to keep your guys out of the box. We haven't seen it for a couple minutes, but I can feel like something's brewing up.
Face off to the right side of Jacob Morgan, who has had a very solid night so far. We mentioned early in the game this would be a goaltending battle as a shot blocked, and now here comes Heath Topol. What a warrior coming in. Topol just wide of the cage. Beach will pick up the loose puck, spin it back for McCray. McCray tried to feed Topol. Recovered as the Vikings try to exit. As Braden Fine turned it over to Eric Losing. Losing looking right into the glove of Radcliffe. As the referee, a little delayed whistle, so Radcliffe leaving it out to play. Again, the Huskers just forcing a turnover. Right in, cutting in, it's Carlson all the way! Great job by Radcliffe to stick with him. Again, up the wall for Augustana. Fine has trouble with it. Clears it over the head of everybody as Losing tried to play it with the stick. Losing searching just off the mark of Holderfield. As Simmons dumps it in. Morgan deflects it with the stick. Thrown to the front of the net. McGinnis will clear it away from danger, and now here comes the Husker offense again with Henrik Carlson. Haugen all the way as he just had it taken away, and now Augustana trying to rebuttal. Brickell almost caught him with a shoulder, but it's McGinnis chasing the puck here. Martison chipped away, Simmons down the wall. Martison coming in to help Brickell with it. It's back to the point, a shot comes in, blockered away. Rebound picked up, right back to Simmons one more time. Pat save Morgan. Grease around the horn. Tevital back to the top. Another shot comes in wide. McGinnis couldn't cleanly get it away from Tevital. Back to the point, return to Tevital. Augustana is cooking right now as it escapes the zone. Momentum was on the Vikings side, and now they will go off for a change. But that's a shift you have to take a lot away from if you're the Vikings.
Absolutely, Sam. I completely agree.
As Decker going all the way. Decker looking for his third of the night. Circling around the zone. Decker sets up. That one just wide. Another one on goal. A couple of bodies there to deter that one. Pate can't corral the bouncing puck. Decker, first one to it here, as he'll wire it around. Weber going to get there with the backhander. It will go right in front of the Augie bench. Weber tried to feed Decker. Puck sitting there. Decker flipping it back. Blocked by a Viking. Good job right along the wall. As the puck just past Deckers, he tries to chip it in again. Pate recovers. A lot of Vikings there to force a turnover, and a great job by Tanner Oyen. Flips it right into the glove of Morgan for a whistle.
Morgan catches that fastball like it's no big deal, no big problem for him. We'll hand that one off to the ref. We've got a face-off in the defensive zone for the Huskers. Augustana trying to get as aggressive as possible in the final 5.5. But as I mentioned before, you don't want to get too aggressive to the point where you end up sending one of your players to that penalty box, and then you've got another 2 minutes you need to kill off the clock, Sam.
Face-off fought for and one back for the Huskers. A quick pass attempt. Beach a backhander in now, a 2-on-1. Stadler, McCammon, Stadler just off the tape. This one will escape as Losing cuts away. Losing again, another good cut walking in. Losing rips it on goal, Pat save. Behind the crease and fought for. Lucius right in there as Vinny Thill looks to exit the zone, and a heavy hit from Lucius. Losing up the wall. Lucius can't chop it down. Losing again into that scrum as Lucius tried to feed it into the zone. Have to wait to tag up on sides as Losing was down on the ice there for a few seconds. Stadler intercepts it. Stadler fires, save, rebound into the glove. What a job by Walker Radcliffe. Are you kidding me?
He's going to have to walk that one off, and I don't blame it at all, Sam. What a series of events right there. He ends up on his back, was sprawled out of that butterfly position 100% for sure. Ends up getting the save, though, so a great job. I know his Viking teammates are glad he didn't let that one slip to a 5-goal margin as far as scoring goes. We've got 4.5 minutes left here, Sam, and both defenses looking pretty good.
I mean, Radcliffe is playing out of his mind. I mean, all night long, he hasn't had some support in front of him, but he has played to the best of his ability. As Cashin tried to go all the way in. A couple of bodies in front. As Augustana recovering the puck is fine going. Simmons at the point rimmed it around. Carlson skating into this one, and we have a penalty upcoming. And I believe they might have gotten Will Cashin a little bit of a scrum in the corner there with Merritt. And they're going to tag both of them.
Sam, when the lead is high, when the score is high, emotions go high too. And that tension rises with it. I was saying, you know, I can feel something brewing up here. I was just waiting for those guys to kind of start chipping away at each other. Eventually they do. So looks like we'll go down a man each. Each team will send one of their guys off to that box. 2-minute timeout for both. So really, I would say this might be a good thing for the Vikings here because, you know, you're not down a guy or anything like that. Instead, it's just 4-on-4 hockey, which tends to be, you know, quite faster than 5-on-5. They might be able to slip a goal or two in right here. As
Smith wires it around, and you talk about a little bit more of the ice available now with the 4-on-4. So Augustana, see if they can take advantage of this 4-on-4, but you have to note it's 4-on-4 for both sides. Nebraska's going to have that ice too, so Augustana has to be ready at both ends. As a stick save from Morgan deflects the puck out of play. But I mean, you talk about the emotions, you know, it's very easy to get upset in the game of hockey. I mean, especially when the game has just not gone your way tonight. Scoreboard says 6-2. But some of these Viking players have made it look like it's a tie game in overtime.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and you look a little bit further into that too. I mean, look at the way they opened this game. You know, they opened it in great fashion. Now they want to just close in great fashion.
As Beach trying to extend the lead, cutting above, going back. Stadler wired it on goal just above the blocker. Lucius crashing in, couldn't get there cleanly, and now an opportunity. Here comes Ashton Grease on the backhand. Saved by Morgan.
Incredible save there. We've been talking about it all night, way back, including the pregame as well. You and I pointed out that tonight was going to be not so much, first line versus first line or any specific forward and defender matchups. It's all about these goaltenders, Ben. And Morgan has been playing great. Radcliffe has been playing great too. Just see there that Radcliffe says let 4 more slip past him than Morgan has. So when it comes down to it, though, I'd say both goaltenders have had pretty solid games.
As Beach on the outlet, he's got Stadler. Stadler against his man. A lot of Vikings there to defend Stadler. A little over 55 seconds left in the 4-on-4 as the Vikings work into the zone. Lucius, a great job to poke it away, and here's Brickle. Brickle with McCammon on his left side. Brickle fed over McCammon now in the corner. Wide of the net and recovered by Carlson here at the blue line. It's Brickle. Looking, gliding, backhand feed, blocked by Abadi, and here comes Augustana again. Tyler Rundle will flip it in as the Vikings go off for a line change. McCammon, Martison, 2 of the forwards out there, along with Carlson and Brickle, as Brickle going to skate into the puck here. Going to go down low for Martison. Martison trying to cut it away, but couldn't get the handle on it. This one is chipped off the wall. And now a great opening. Here come the Vikings. Hansen lost the handle. Just slipped right through the Nebraska defense, but puck luck on the Huskers side and a whistle for another penalty.
Sam, I believe that series of events we just saw, especially Hansen's missed opportunity, that's kind of writing on the wall that this one may be nearing the end. Never say never, never say die. However, the Vikings, that was an opportunity that you can't pass up there, especially when it's crunch time. You're not only playing against your opponent, but you're playing against the clock. They really needed that one there, and Hansen knows it too. He was visibly frustrated after that one. Didn't let things slip too out of hand, though, so he'll get right back into the action here. He'll actually take the face-off in the offensive zone for him.
Nebraska on the penalty kill again. Augustana back to the power play as Martison in the box. They work it along the point. Burnt back, going over. A shot comes in, blockered away. This one swept towards the crease. Back out, a shot from Smith is wide. Hansen recovers. Surveying, Hansen looking. Still with it, going back to Smith at the point. Over to the wall. Cashin walks in, toe drag around a body. Picked back up by Burnt. Smith. Stick on the ice as Cashin goes around, down low. Hansen looks. Back in, one-timer just off the mark. Rebound comes back out, Burnt. Smith. And Hansen again. Hansen dropping it for Smith. Again to Burnt. One more for Smith. Wires it on goal, deflected. A good job by Morgan to clear it away. Cashin again, Smith. Fired it right into the glove of Morgan.
They finally got Zach Moret's broken stick out of the way, but for a while there, it was playing like a 5th defender on the ice. The Vikings were skating around it, trying to poke at it to get it out of their zone. Eventually they do, and no shots were able to fall there, but they do get a lot of shots on goal. Morgan kept his composure in that minute or so there where he had to play some pretty good defense, and he's going to have to do it for the remaining 53 seconds of this game.
Stadler couldn't cleanly win it. Burnt. Smith. Top unit still for the Vikings. Cashin. Smith wired on goal. Save made by Morgan. Kept on the ice. Smith again for Burnt. Walking in. Burnt down low. Hansen creeping in towards the crease. He's going to look for more options. Along the wall and goal line. Grease fires. Save made by Morgan. Rebound picked up. Hansen, another one right into the glove of Morgan.
Morgan looking like a little prime Carey Price right now, man. He's just at the top. He's in midseason form, and so is Radcliffe. I know the score might not reflect that, but huge respect to both goaltenders. A lot of these goals, especially the ones against the Vikings, have come from power plays, and you can't let that go out of effect. You got to keep that in the back of your mind when you think back to this game.
This is the right time for both sides to get hot. Obviously, Augustana still early in their season. They will be on the way to dropping their 3rd game of the year. But again, a very tough Nebraska opponent who is just exploded onto the scene this year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anybody really expected them to play this well. Got a little time left here in this one, though.
The shot wired wide and cleared out of the zone. Final 5 seconds ticking away. Nebraska 3-0 on the year against the Vikings.
Sam, 3-0 against Augustana. They're going to look to make it 4-0 tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 Central Time. If you're looking for more D2 hockey, definitely tune in for that one tomorrow. Another thing to take note of is that Augustana purposefully, they had a little bit of a slow start to the season. I'd say on purpose as far as their schedule goes. They have only played 3 games so far. Their 4th will be tomorrow, all 4 against Nebraska. But towards the end of the month, they will face off against Waldorf on both October 31st, some Halloween hockey action, and then they'll also play them on November 1st. So that'll be their next series up. I know these guys might be a little bit sick and tired of the Cornhuskers, but they still have one more matchup with them.
Yeah, it's going to be one heck of a matchup tomorrow. Obviously, Nebraska a lot of the time splitting time between Jacob Morgan and Jaden Salato. Jaden Salato, the last time he played Augustana, almost shut him out again, just losing the shutout in the final few moments. But Matthew, what a night this was. Nebraska winning 6-2, advancing on the year to 7-2-0 now. But what a game this was. We want to thank you so much for tuning in all night long here on Nebraska News Service. For our crew behind the camera, our excellent producer, Danny Bird, Colton Alder on the camera. For my co-host, Matthew Molloy, Sam Whitaker signing off here from Breslow.
Good night, Nebraska. Work, boys. Good work.
Dang. What a call. Started rough, then we